If you live in a small space and you don't think you have room to garden, I'm going to show you an easy way to grow food that's super nutritious in a small space in a very short amount of time. You may have already heard of microgreens, but did you know that they can provide up to 40 times more concentrated nutrients than their full-grown counterparts? Not only that, but microgreens can grow the equivalent of 7,000 plants in a space less than 2 feet square. That makes them superheroes in my book. How awesome is that? So, why do this when you can do this? Okay, who wants to learn how? First, you want to get a tray to put your soil and seeds in. You can use lots of different things, but I like to use what's called a 10-20 tray. Guess why it's called that? That's right, it's 10 inches by 20 inches. You'll need 2 solid trays and 1 mesh to get started. You'll want to shop for microgreen seeds and then pick what you want to grow. 2 of the easiest things to grow are radish and broccoli. I'm going to show you broccoli today because it's a brassica which contains sulforaphane. Okay, I know I used a couple of $10 words. Let me explain. Now let me sum up. Brassicas are things like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and radish. And sulforaphane is, well, I have no idea, but according to studies, it can prevent and possibly reverse cancer. So let's do that. So I have something to put everything in, and of course you've got to adjust for the weight of the cup itself. And then I like this company, True Leaf. Again, I'm not sponsored, but I just find them reliable. So then you pour until you get 20 ounces. I'm sorry, not ounces, grams. Yeah, we're sneaking up on it. There we go, there's 20. Doesn't take much. Next thing you want to do is take a soil medium, and in this case I like the Coco Coir because it's just easier to manage than larger bags of dirt. This particular brand comes in these bricks so that they're individual and they don't collect moisture. But then you open it up and you put it in your bucket and just cover that with water and let it sit. Within about an hour, it's completely absorbed the water and it'll break up and work just like potting soil. Well, it looks like it's soaked long enough, and now we just break it up. So much easier than trying to pull it apart when it's still dry. Now we take the soil that's been broken up and we just put a bunch of it into the tray. Now there's this tray with the holes in it. That way when we water it, any excess water is going to go through and hold in the bottom tray rather. Now I take another tray and just squish it flat. Now it's ready for the seeds. And then sow the seeds evenly. Oops. Try and keep them in the tray. I'm just spraying some water because the soil seemed a little dry. So once it's got enough water, just kind of want it a little bit soaked, not puddling, but moist. And then you stick a cover over it and put it on a shelf. So the little broccoli sprout seeds are under there. Put them here yesterday. There's really nothing to do with the tray for 1 to 4 days. And so they just sit here with their other stuff that's, growing. And then you want to put something heavy on the top tray because what that does is it gets the seed to make good contact with the soil. But you just wait. You can peek at it every day, see how it's doing. So you put all your seeds in various trays, whatever you're growing, and then you stack them with the weight on it. You can stack them or you can leave them just one tray. But once they sprout, that's when you unstack them, expose them to light, and start the watering process. By the way, if you notice these little white fibery things, it's not mold. They're called air roots, and it's nothing to worry about. After the blackout period, you want to expose your sprouts to good lighting. I started with this full spectrum type of light, but they're more expensive and it just wasn't necessary for the plants at this stage. After some research, I found the T8 LED light was perfect for microgreens. Well, let's take a look at the broccoli seeds. I can see them poking a little bit. There's some growth and there's a little bit of green leaking out here on the edges, so I know it's time to take the tray off. Let's see how they look. Oh, look at those beauties. All right then. So now they haven't had moisture since Monday. It's Friday. So we want to spray them just this one time. We're going to spray them. And I like this this pump sprayer because the other kind where you have to continually pump the handle makes my hands tired. So I'm just going to give them a drink. And this is top watering. We're only going to do it this one time. And from then on, we're going to lift this tray and water every day from underneath and let the roots soak up the moisture. Well, it's been 10 days and it's ready to harvest. They're about an inch tall or so. And harvesting is just get a pair of scissors and cut above the dirt line. There's other ways to harvest that. There's a special knife that they have available on Amazon just for microgreens, but any sharp knife will do. And you can just take what you need for your salad, a smoothie. You can put it on a hamburger as a garnish. You can kind of work it into your kids' meals, sneak in a little vegetable that way. All kinds of things you can do with it. I grow flats for my chickens. I think it makes them strong and healthy. What do you think? Anyway, you can continue to let them grow for a little while. Just continue to bottom water. When I give these to my chickens, they eat the roots off the bottom and they eat the top and they just leave the cocoa coir. And I throw that in the compost heap. But you can throw the stem remnants and roots and cocoa coir in your compost heap or just throw it away. Just remember when you're letting it grow, try not to let it grow to where it has a true leaf because that's when it starts to get bitter. My purpose in starting this channel is to try and remove the hindrances people have to growing their own food. I have worked to overcome not having enough light, enough space, and on top of that, half my property's in a floodplain. If you have an obstacle, please write it in the comments, and together maybe we can come up with a solution. Like and subscribe, and let me know what other types of videos you'd like to see in the future.